let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Oh, let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Oh, let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Oh, let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Yahweh, He liveth, blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Oh, let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Oh, let's magnify Yahweh, for He is worthy to be praised. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock. Blessed be the rock of my salvation. Yahweh, He liveth, and blessed be the rock of my salvation.
Hi everybody, my name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the YHWH and the Torah channel, and we are listening to the, what sounds like the, well, you know, it sounds like Elvis there. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us here, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Guys, our family is your family is our family, and we truly love you guys immensely, and we thank you guys for joining in. Jade, are you ready for our Shema?
Yes.
Or you want Caden first?
Actually, let's open first in prayer. Mr. Caden, can you please open us with a word of prayer to Elohim?
Personally, Father, we come before you once again as a family, united under you, hearing your words, hearing what you have to say for us, what you have planned out for us today. We ask that the words that come through our mouths are from you, that we speak nothing but your will, and that your will is done through all the people here. I ask that your blessings are upon us, that your light shines upon us, and that we make this Shabbat the best Shabbat we've had. We make your day the day you have chosen, that we sanctify it and we keep it Kodesh. In Yoshua's name, amen.
Amen. All right. Now, let us read the Shema. Mr. Jaden, can you please put this together for us?
Yep. Hear Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart. And you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign upon your head, and a frontlet between your eyes.
Okay, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. All right, thank you guys very, very much. Let us get rolling here onto this. Let us see. All right, so what we do with everything, Ms. Nicole, I see everyone here in the chat. It looks like our fam is all here. Let's see who we all have. Let's do a greets with what we have. I see Bobby Z. I see Brother Glenn, not Bobby Z, but Chris from the Bobby Z YouTube channel. Zach and Rhiannon, much love to you guys out there. I saw Sylvia in here, much love. Of course, Grandma, much love to you, Graham. Joanna, I didn't see her, but hey, what's up, sis? Much love to you, sis.
Jeremy,
what's up, brother?
and Dreg,
Dreg.
and Sylvia.
Yep.
And I think you got everybody else.
All right. Well, Sylvia, we hope you.
Jeannie,
not of this world. Much love. Saw you there, Sylvia. We hope you have power. You don't have power outages over there in Africa. And yeah, so here we go, guys. So we're going to do what we do every single Shabbat, and it is writing these laws, statutes, and commandments up on our heart, mind, and soul. And how we write them upon our heart, mind, and soul is by we repeat them. We go over them. And if anybody in the chat, I guess at this point has any kind of questions, or you guys want to go over them at all, this is the time that we are able to chat with you guys. And this is, this is what makes it a blessed Shabbat, is that we get to hang out with our family. And for those who have never joined us before, this is the house of many distractions, and we do the very best that we can. We have 10 pit bulls, and so they are all around our feet, all around they live with us. And so it is one of these things that they are part of the distraction. You probably already heard one of our gal, Hannah. She was sitting there singing with the Torah keeping Elvis, it sounded like. And so, yeah. All right, so these are the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And there aren't very many of them. In fact, there's under 200. They aren't too hard to keep. In fact, they are fun to keep. They are good to keep. They will guide your life and they will help you. And the majority of the world has denied these. The majority of the world does not care what our Creator has to say. And if you truly love our Creator with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, then you're going to absolutely want to hear what He has to say. You're going to value it. You're going to put it into your heart, and you're going to keep it as a guide point for your life so that you are not able to be led into sin. And when we know the Torah, when we know what our Creator has to say, then it is easy to walk these lands knowing what we should and shouldn't do. For those who do not know the Torah, we will still be judged by the Torah. The Torah is our judging line. And so when we are claiming that we never heard the Torah, and people die, they die, and they will look at our Creator and they don't know the Torah. Messiah says in Matthew 7 that those who say that they know Him and that they are part of Him and part of this walk of the kingdom, they will be denied. He will tell them to kick rocks. Depart from me, you who work Torah-lessness. And so this is why the Torah is absolutely a foundational piece of our walk into the kingdom, as well as the faith of our Messiah. And for those who do not know, everyone in the world calls our Messiah Jesus, and there were no J's in Hebrew, and it's actually a pagan name. And so the name of our Messiah is Yahushua, or it could be Yeshua, but it means Yah saves, and it also means salvation. And it is, a beautiful, beautiful name. And when you get it, you don't want to go back to the old ways. And so when we talk about Yahushua, we are talking about the Son of the Most High. When we say Yahuwah or Yahweh, that is our Creator. And God is simply a surtitle name. It's like Mr. God, Yahuwah. It's a surtitle. And so it is not His name. The closest that we have to His name is what He told us that He was. And He says, I am that I am. And so in Hebrew, that is Yod-Hed, Vod-Hed. And so that is Yahuwah. Okay, and yeah, absolutely. There's power in the real true names. Yeah, absolutely. Joanna hits it right on the name, and so did the Grand too. Torah is not a burden. It is an amazing thing, and this is why it is amazing to have and sit with a family like you guys out there, because we all believe and we all go down the same road, and we all love our Creator so much that we're willing to change our life and to be set apart and to be these people that are Yah's people. And, Hebrews 8, it has what, the Christians will always talk about Hebrews 8, and they'll say, we're part of the new covenant. It says in there, we don't want to, that old covenant, that thing was really old, and, we want the new thing. But they don't actually read it. And when you read Hebrews 8, it is very, very clear that there's no house of Gentile. There's a house of Yisrael. And the only way that you will ever be considered part of the house of Yisrael is when you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And the renewed covenant, or the new covenant, if you would like to say it, it has the exact same guidelines as the other ones. It has the same parts of the agreement. And it is that if we walk in the laws, statutes, and commandments and obey the words of our Creator, He will be our Elohim, and we will be His people. And that is very, very powerful when you walk under the hand of the Creator of the universe, and you have the power of the Creator of the universe, that He walks with you, and He puts His messengers with you, and He guides your life, and He walks with you. And that doesn't mean our life is going to be easy. In fact, it very clearly says in Revelations that the devil goes after those who are Torah keepers. He goes to make war with them. And so if your life is in turmoil, if things are going wild, it is probably a good sign as well as a tough sign, right? Because if you have no problems whatsoever and that your life is just going perfectly as is, who knows what your walk is? And a lot of Christians will have these great lives, and they can worship on the wrong day. They have no problems at all, and it just seems like everything's hunky-dory. Well, the devil isn't after them because he already has them. He doesn't need them because they have already chosen their path, and they've already made their way. And when you talk to people about eating clean foods, and especially pig seems like the cotton candy of the Christians. They cannot stop eating it, and they love it, and they will laugh at you, and they will just toss their fingers at you, and as you're trying to explain to them that is one bad thing. And our Creator has designed things like swine as a cleanup crew. It goes around and eats feces, it goes around and eats dead things, it goes around and eats things, and it lives with parasites and all sorts of diseases and things that we cannot live with and eat, and we're not supposed to. We're never supposed to eat that kind of food. And so anyway, let's go on. I missed all the stuff in the chat because I didn't want to get distracted. Anything going on in there? Yeah, and that's what Brother Glenn says. Yeah, think that I did not come to destroy the Torah. He did not. And he came to walk the Torah and to show us that it is possible that we can walk it as well. It's not. We're not going to have a perfect walk. We're not going to have it's just, nobody's going to be sinless. We are trying to get to that point where there is no sin in our lives. And it's as easy as having a bad thought in our head where we are able to commit adultery in our mind just with our bad thinking. And so the walk is a very spiritual walk. It is a walk of holiness, and we need to have clean hands, clean heart, and clean minds. All right. Anything else in the chat, Mr. Cole? All right. Here we go. Commandment number 1 of the greatest, of the most amazing things you guys will ever see in your life. This is it. Be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
53 times.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Ephraim, and they're all the exact same Torah. We don't fall under different guidelines, so if you're worshiping on a first day, which is a Sunday, you're not in Torah. You're not in the Torah of our Creator, and that is a bad thing. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Sabbath.
Honor.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusation against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's law is for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other gods.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress the stranger, love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make your use of anointing on a normal person. And 57, do not make your use of perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
You obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you should not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the tree for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corner of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult a medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of the first fruits. Shavuot, on recount.
Keep the feast of Trump, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah being a Nazir.
Wear zizi on the four corners of your garments.
The laws of where touch a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's laws of inheritance.
Torah keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and in front between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Hold on. Miss Nicole has something because I saw the grand pop up in there.
Says, are the firstborn that are female redeemed?
I don't think so. Isn't it the first it's the males, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything about females on the first female. Brother Glenn, I don't recall anything with females in there at all. Anyone else have anything here?
I don't know. Does it ever specifically say if it's male or female?
The first
said
male, it's a
first
male.
Born male
Yeah,
in
it's the
your
males
household.
are always the firstborn are redeemed. I don't think it's female, Gran. Brother Glenn will probably know. He'll pop in here in a second, I think. Okay, do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah is blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
Yep, and Brother Glenn popped in there.
It's the firstborn male.
Yeah, and I've never, I don't remember anything about females in this whole thing. It always is like the firstborn males. So yeah, thanks, Brother Glenn, and let's continue on.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe your increase of seed year by year.
Laws at the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet text of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Shall be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother or do not enter his house to get your payment, he must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset. That was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot.
All right. So, as Eli gets us queued up on this whole thing, those are the laws, statutes, and commandments as best as we could pull them out. And the laws, statutes, and commandments exist in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, if we are pulling out commandments that are in anywhere else or anything else, say, for instance, that you think that all food has been made clean, that is something that violates Deuteronomy 4:2. Deuteronomy 4:2 clearly says not to add to or take away anything from the Torah. And so that is our litmus test. When we walk through this world and when we walk through this life, if something violates this, then we are going contrary to the ways our Creator has wanted us to walk. And so we do not want that. We want to be holy. We want to serve Him with every last being of our heartbeat. And we are not doing that if we're eating unclean food. We're not doing that if we're worshiping on a first day. We're not doing that if we're taking part of pagan holidays such as Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of those things. All of those things are walking with the nations. And we are told very clearly that we are not to walk with the nations. All right. So we are getting ready. And so today we are in Bereshith, which is Genesis 43. And for those who do not know, the bottom scriptures is the Yah scriptures. It's the scriptures of Yahuwah, the new face, new fresh, clean, crispy wording. And the top one is the Targums, and it's not so crispy of a wording on there because I don't know who put the wording out on this, but there's all sorts of crazy mistakes in it. But we're just reading it, trying to get to the bottom of things. And like I said before, I don't think we're going to go into the Targums of Exodus. I think we'll just go maybe into another translation. Maybe we'll use the RSTNE translation at the top, and we'll just go through Exodus without the Targums. However, there is some interesting things in the Targums, but however, there does appear to be quite a bit of what they call Jewish folklore and things that probably couldn't ever happen. So that is why we have a litmus test, and that is why we have the scriptures that we know, so that we can find those red flags and we can chew the meat, spit the bones out, and get to the bottom of things. All right, so here we go. We are at the, we're going to be reading from the bottom part first. But the scarcity of food was severe in the land. And it came to be when they had eaten up the grain, which they had brought from Mitzrayim, that their father said to them, "Go back, buy us a little food." But YHWH spoke to him, saying, "The man vehemently warned us, saying, you do not see my face unless your brother is with you." And I'm going to have to pull this off here real quick, guys. Sorry. I miss you guys, but we'll get you back here in a second. All right, Miss Nicole will be our eyes on the chat and let us know what is going on. Okay, so you do not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you let our brother go with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you do not let him go, we do not go down. Because the man said to us, you do not see my face unless your brother is with you. And Yisrael said, why did you do evil to me to inform the man that you still had a brother? And they said, the man kept asking about us and our relatives, saying, is your father still alive? Have you a brother? And we informed him according to these words. How could we know what he would say? Bring your brother down. And YHWH said to Yisrael, his father, send the boy with me, and let us arise and go, and live and not die, both we and you, and also our little ones. I myself shall stand guarantor for him. From my hand you are to require him. If I to you and put him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. For if we had not delayed, truly by now we could have returned the second time. All right, are we heading to the top?
Yeah.
Okay, now we are heading to the top in the Targums, and Targums is yet another translation of this. Okay, and it was when they had finished eating corn they had brought from Mizraim, their father said to them, return and buy us a little corn. And Judah spake to them, saying, the man attesting attested to us, you shall not see the sight of my face unless your youngest brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy corn for thee. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man told us, you shall not see the sight of my face unless your brother be with you. And Israel said, why did you do me evil in showing the man that you had yet a brother? And they said, the man demanded to know about us and about our family, saying, is your father yet living? Have you a brother? And we informed him according to the word of these things. Could we know that he would say, bring your brother down? And YHWH said to Israel, his father, send the youth with me, that we may arise and go, and that we may live and not die, both we and you and our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not to thee again, and set him before thee, the guilt be upon me before thee all the days. And the other version of this says, I will be afar off from the salutation of my father all days. Okay, continue on. For unless we had thus delayed, we should have already returned these 2 times. Okay, now we're heading back to the bottom, and it is 11. And their father Yisrael said to them, if so, then do this. Take some of the best fruit of the land in your vessels, and bring a present down for the man, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. And take double silver in your hand, and take back in your hand the silver that was returned in the mouth of your sacks. It could have been a mistake. And take your brother, and arise, go back to the man. And El Shaddai give to you compassion before the man, so that he shall release your other brother, and Benjamin, and I. If I am bereaved, I am bereaved. And the men took the present, and Benjamin, and they took double the amount of silver in their hand, and arose, and went down to Mitzrayim, and stood before Joseph. And Joseph saw Benjamin with him, and said to the one over his house, bring the men home and make a great slaughter and prepare, for these men are to eat with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph said, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, it is because of the silver which was put back into our sacks the first time that we are brought in, to throw himself upon us and fall upon us, to take us as slaves, our donkeys too. Yeah, it's interesting. They think about the donkeys, right? Like that should be the least of their worries.
Yeah.
Okay, now heading back to the top on the Targums. And Israel, their father, said to them, if it must be so, do this. Take of the praiseworthy things of the land and put them in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little gum and a little honey, wax and leadium, the oil of nuts and the oil of almonds, and money 2 upon 1. All right, so I don't know, what did they say, the first one? Little gum. So the first one, what do we have?
Fruits of the land.
Yeah, what do you say on this, though?
I don't know. Why do you call it gum? Why is it trying to?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out what the gum was on this.
A present down for the man, a little balm, a little honey. No, he said the best fruit of the land. That's all there was.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so let's roll into this. So they're bringing the good stuff here. The other version of this says double. That's all it says.
2 upon 1.
2 upon 1. Okay, so 2 upon 1, take in your hands even the money that was returned in the mouth of your baggage. Take back in your hands, perhaps it was done in error. And take Benjamin your brother, and arise. Return to the man, and Elohim the Almighty give you mercies before the man, that he may release to you your other brother, and Benjamin, and I. Behold, I am now certified by the Ruach HaKodesh, that if I am to be bereaved of Joseph, I shall also be bereaved of Shimeon and of Benjamin. And the other version of this says, and I, behold, if I be not bereaved of my son Joseph, so shall I not add to be bereaved of Shimeon and of Benjamin. Okay, so I think the Ruach HaKodesh was telling him that these guys would make it back. And something very interesting, I was reading in the extracurricular books today, and I can't remember which one it was. It was it Gad? I don't remember which it was. But I think maybe it was the Naphtali. But Naphtali actually had a dream. I think it was Naphtali. And Naphtali had a dream. And in his dream, it was all about, he got onto a boat. And this boat went out, or they were all standing by the shore. I'll give you the laydown of it. They're all standing by the shore in his dream. And the boat came by, and it said, the boat of Yaakov. And so they all jumped on the boat. And the boat went out to storm, and it all blew into bits. And all the kids were on planks, and the thing was a mess. Their dad flipped off at first. And the only one who got out of there was Joseph in a little boat. And when Naphtali told his dad, in the story of Naphtali, the testament of Naphtali, he says that his dad's like, man, I think Joseph is still alive. I think he's out there because he's still in all of these dreams, and he's all part of this. So even though he was in sadness for many, 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 many years, there was still hints that Joseph was still alive. And so he was in the kids' dreams. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, so we're right here. The men took the present and the money 2 for 1 in their hands, and they took Benjamin and went down to Mitzrayim and stood before Joseph. All right, now we're at the bottom?
No, not yet.
Okay, and Joseph saw Benjamin with him, and he said to Manasseh, whom he had made superintendent over his house, bring the men into the house, and unloose the house of slaughter, and take out the sinew that shrank, and prepare meat before them. For the man shall eat with me at the time of the noonday meal. And the men did as Joseph had said, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. Okay.
Slow one.
All right. The men feared when they were brought into Joseph's house, and said, for the money that was returned in our sacks at the first are we brought in, that we may find occasion against us, and condemn us, and sell us for our slaves, and take our donkeys. All right, and so we will get that word off the screen here. Okay, and let's see, are we on 19 right here? There we go,
Yeah.
19. So they came near to the man over the house of Joseph, and spoke to him at the door of the house, and said, oh, my master, we indeed came down the first time to buy food. But it came to be, when we came to the lodging place, that we opened our sacks and saw each man's silver in the mouth of his sack, our silver in its weight, and we have brought it back in our hand. And we have brought down other silver in our hands to buy food. We do not know who put our silver in our sacks. But he said, peace be with you. Do not be afraid. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your father has given you treasure in your sacks. Your silver had come to me. And he brought Shimeon out to them. And the man brought the men to that Joseph's house and gave them water. And they washed their feet, and he gave their donkeys fodder. And they made the present ready for Joseph's coming at noon, for they heard that they were to eat there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed down before him to the earth. And he asked them about their welfare and said, Is your father well? The old man of whom you spoke, is he still alive? And they said, Your servant, our father, is in good health. He is still alive. And they bowed their heads down and did obeisance. And he lifted his eyes and saw his younger brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother of whom you spoke to me? And he said, Elohim, show favor to you, my son. And Joseph hurried, for his emotions were deeply moved towards his brother. And he looked to weep, and went into his room and wept there. Okay, heading back up to the top. And they drew near the man who had been appointed intendant over Joseph's house, and spake with him at the gate of the house. And they said, We entreat you, my lord. We indeed came down at first to buy corn, but it was when we had come to our place of lodging that we opened our sacks, and behold, the money of a man was in the mouth of his sack. But we have brought it back in our hand, and other money have we brought down in hand to buy corn. We know not who put the money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you. Be not afraid of my lord. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your fathers gave you treasure in your sacks. Your money came to me, and he brought Shimeon to them. The man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave them provender for their donkeys. And they made ready the present against the entrance of Joseph at the noonday feast, for they had heard from him that they were to eat bread there. And Joseph entered the house, and they offered to him the present which was in their hands for the house, and bowed down before him upon the ground. And Joseph saluted them and said, Is it well with your father, the old man of whom you told me? Is he still alive? And they answered, It is well with our servant, our father. He is yet alive. And they bowed and made obeisance. Okay, and this completed the dream, right? And this is like the final part of the dream where they were on their hands and knees.
Everything bowed down to him?
Yeah, and when you read the extracurricular books of the brothers of all their brothers, right? The sons of Jacob, they all hated him for his dreams. Like the dreams that he had, part of that was what really set them off. And Simeon wanted to kill him. All the kids, most of the kids wanted to kill him. There's only a couple of them that had like a bit of mercy in them. But the dreams are what really made these guys angry. And so here they are making the dreams come to life exactly as Joseph told them. And, there's a ton of irony in all of this, and, just a ton of prophecy. And this is just a really amazing story. All right. And they bowed and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw Benjamin, his brother, the son of his mother, and said, Is this your youngest brother of whom you told me? Mercy from YHWH be upon thee, my son. And Joseph made haste. Passions were moved upon his brother, and he sought to weep. And he went into the chamber. And
It's the exact same.
yeah, the same thing. And the other post says into the chamber. So the house of sleep, and wept there. And he washed. Okay, here we go. We're heading to the bottom yet again. Then he washed his face, and came out, and controlled himself, and said, Serve the food. And they placed him by himself, and them by themselves. And the Mitzrayites who ate with him by themselves, for the Mitzrayites could not eat the food with the Hebrew, for it is an abomination to the Mitzrayites. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men looked at each other in astonishment. And he took portions to them from before him, but Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as any of theirs. And they feasted, and they drank with him. Okay, let's head back up to the Targums and see what we have here. And he washed his face from tears, and came forth, and hastened and said, Set bread. And they set for him by himself, and they by themselves, and for the Mitzrayim who ate with him by themselves. For it was not proper for the Mitzrayim to eat bread with the Yehudi, because the animals which the Mitzrayim worshipped, the Yehudi ate. And they sat around him, the greatest according to his majority, and the less according to his minority. For he had taken the silver cup in his hand, and sounding as if divining, he set in order the sons of Leah on one side, and the sons of Zilpah on the other side, and the sons of Bilhah on another side, and Benjamin, the son of Rachel, he ordered by the side of himself. And the men wondered, each at the other. And he sent portions from his table, and they set them forth from him before them. But Benjamin's portion was larger than the portion of any of them. 5 portions. One was his own portion, one portion for himself, from himself, one from his wife, and 2 portions from his 2 sons. And they drank and were drunken with him, for from the day when they were separated from him, they had not drunk wine, neither he nor they, until that day. All right, so we get a lot of interesting things that we didn't actually know. And the one thing that was always kind of mystifying in just regular scriptures is that, you know, he was so astonished that he set them by age. And a lot of times you could just simply look at people and you can look at the age. You could probably gauge a real rough idea. But now we learn from the Targums that he set them on individual sides of the table based upon their mothers.
Right.
And in probably the same line of the order of their birth, right? From the youngest to oldest, or vice versa.
And then he sat with Benjamin and a tree. I mean, at some point they got to start thinking, like, is this Joseph, or do we know this guy? How does he know this?
I don't
It
know.
said they like divined with his cup somehow.
Yeah.
He set that up and a little bit up. In the
Well,
front.
divining means he loves his cup, right? I mean, he's not like, it's not, we're not talking divination. We're talking like he enjoys it, and that's what he, you know, when he traps them. This is what he tells them. He says, don't you know a guy like myself divines with a cup? It's like, you know, if you're a king and you have things of that splendor, you would have, you know, kingly things. You would have, you know, things of that nature. You have anything, Mr. Cole?
Brother Glenn says, Jacob's 7 laws of leadership. 1. Whatever problem arises today are best dealt with tomorrow. 2. No problem can possibly be as bad as it seems. 3. Honestly, it is not the best policy. Honesty is not the best policy. 4. Always look out for number 1. 5. As much as it is possible, see to it that others receive the blame for others. 6. If our efforts have problem fail, add money. 7. When all fails, trust Yahuwah.
Yeah. Those are very, very interesting. And so we learn a lot from this. We learn a lot about the hand of Yah. We learn about the way that our Creator has things planned out. And you know, that's the thing about our Creator is, go ahead and get us, you're ready to queue up on this end thing. The thing about our Creator is that we don't know, you know, something that happens 15 years ago could be set up for a moment in time for today. Our Creator is so amazing, and he knows all of this stuff so well that he is, he's very well planned out, and nothing gets beside him, nothing gets behind him. He knows everything, as well as he knows all our hearts, he knows our thoughts, and he knows what we have. And, you know, if you look at creation and you look at the individual makeup of each individual person, every single one of us are completely unique. And, you know, I'm going to have to put to another book of the brothers, because the brothers were talking about this, and I read a bunch of them this morning, and so I can't remember which one I read it from. But they're all on the YahooandtheTorah.net website, and if you look under the Apocrypha at the bottom, they're all in order, and they're really, really good read. But one of the brothers was talking about that all of our bodies are made for our conditions. We have been individually designed perfectly in every way for what we are supposed to do. Some of us are big, some of us are small, some of us are fast, some of us are slow. Some of us have skills that other people don't have, but we are all designed in such a way that our Creator has spent time on us. It's just not a random happen chance of who we are and what we're about. He has put an intricate design together, and he knows the amount of hairs on our head. He knows what our deepest, darkest thoughts are. He knows if we're willing to serve him. He knows if we're into obedience with him. And he knows all of this. And this is why it is very, very important that we seek for holiness, that we seek for clean hands, that we seek for a clean heart, and that we align our lives up with the Torah and align our lives up with our Creator. When we align our lives up with the Torah, we understand what our Creator wants. When we align our lives with the walk of our Messiah says the 2 of the greatest commandments are to love our Creator with all our heart, mind, and soul, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And when we are walking those commandments, when we're walking the Torah, we understand that it's all about love. It's all about patience. It's all about kindness. It's all about gentleness, self-control. All of these things that make up a man. Being honest, not having improper weights and measures, not defrauding our friends and neighbors and people of the sort, but being that kind of person that our Creator wants. And so as we seek forward, as we go forward in life, and as we try to align our lives with the Torah, there's no better way to do it than through Scriptures itself. And so with that, guys, I think we're going to fire off first of all, we're going to do our blessing, Aaronic blessing. And Jade, will you finish us off with that?
And Yahuwah has spoken to Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Okay, guys, we love you guys very, very much. We thank you guys for those joining us, those who join us in the future. We are going to say goodbye. We'll do our final song here. We love you all very much. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Much love from all of us. All right, family, we love you guys very, very much. May Yahuwah bless you. May he guide you. May he continue to be in your life. May you find the peace of Yahuwah. May you find the faith of Messiah Yahushua, and may you forever be worthy for the kingdom to come. We love you all. Have a wonderful day, guys.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.